Hi, this is Fear, the voice of Russian Nerd, and this is Muay Thai Minute with your hosts Lavell, Wesley, and Andrew Vignati.
Hello, and welcome back. We have a special guest with us today. We have my friend of me. No, it's not friend of me. Uh,
We're best friends. Don't lie. We're best friends.
Lavell. He is a professional. You're a professional kickboxer and professional MMA fighter, right?
Yes.
Yes, seven-time champion. Uh, for professional record for kickboxing is 1-0 right now. That's your last fight,
Want to know?
right?
Want to know is a kickboxing pro. 0-2 is a MMA pro, and then the championships were all like under as an amateur.
Okay, and you were also I'll say one of the head coaches at Hard Knocks in Everett.
Yes, sir. I am.
So
And I
okay,
also
one of them.
program over at 617
Yes, that's one.
BJ over in Somerville as well.
Yes. So let's clear the air with something real quick.
All right, let's go.
People
Wait,
always you always talk. You don't talk smack, but you always post that you're trying to fight me, and I always get bad messages in my DMs. People think it's serious. They're like, "Who's this guy asking to fight you every single time?" And I'm like, "It's just." I try to tell them it's just for fun. I just want to clear
yeah.
the air. It's
No.
all
Don't. If you're gonna clear the air, tell them about how you've been ducking me now 3-4 years. Now you're all the way in China.
no,
You won't even fight me. You got to go all the way to
no.
China.
I had to run. I had to be in China for this.
No.
I know this.
Me and Bella are best friends. We're good friends. We're good friends.
We
We're
go
good
back.
friends.
We go back a long time. Like, when did you first come to Hard Knocks?
I first started at Hard Knocks in 2018.
And so like I was like near the tail end because like I ended up leaving Hard Knocks in 2019, and so we crossplay it past like a year. Yeah, that's when I first met you. It was like 2018, and like honestly, you're probably like you're probably like one of the realest people from there. Like, let me tell you how I knew you were real. Like, I'm not gonna say any names, but I'll let you know like what maybe like solidified your realness. So like when I left in 2019, like you already know all the bullshit that happened there. But when I left in
Yeah.
2019, when I came back, I saw you. Do you remember this? I saw you at the beach. Do you remember that by any chance?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw you at the beach, and I
We
remember I
was doing
saw
the
you and
workout.
some other people. No, we worked out a different time. But I remember one time I was walking down the beach and I saw you in a car with some people, and then like I went
Yeah.
down and say hi to you, and you were the only person out of the three who actually looked excited to see me. And then I was like,
Yeah.
oh, and then I was like, when I was like, oh, you're like a real like you're legit through and through. Some people, I'm not saying people are fake, but like I saw it in people's face that they weren't fucking with me essentially for
I
whatever
understand
reasons.
what you're saying. I understand what you're
Yeah,
saying. I like to think of myself as a real one. You know.
yeah. So like I and I've always appreciated that. That was like the one moment because like I moved away when all the drama was happening, and I came
Yeah.
back and you kept the same energy through and through, and that's what kind of made me like fuck with you from the beginning.
Well, that's what you're
Um,
gonna get with me, baby. You know what I mean? Like that's how it is. I'm pretty even. You know what I mean? Like like
yeah.
I guess my personality is a little sporadic and whatnot. But I try to keep it pretty even and shit like that. And I've always been a big believer in you. I've been telling you for a long time. You know what I mean? I always thought you was gonna do your thing. And here you are, you're doing it. So
I'm
it's all
trying. I'm trying.
it's all
That's all
full
I can do.
circle, full circle.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I'm trying, and it's crazy seeing the progress that like all of us have made from the get go. Because like I feel like I try to tell these dudes, I try to tell Andrew, I try to tell Big Country how different shit was back then. Like it's so
Yeah.
different now than it was back then. Like the fight culture in like 2000, the 2010s, so much different past 2020, and like how
Oh
we trained, how
yeah.
we fought each other, is just night and day. And I try to tell
Nah,
them that sometimes. I feel they don't
it's
believe me,
way
especially Big
different.
Country.
It's definitely I mean, there's definitely gyms that still like go like hard and shit like that, but it's definitely like more of like focus on not going too hard anymore. You know, like we don't want to hurt
Yeah,
each other anymore. You know what I mean? Like we want to try to save our brain and stuff like that. You
but
know, like there's a
tell
guy
them.
from my gym right now. You know, I mean, good for him. You know, we of course, you know, you in the gym, so you know we got to bust his balls and shit like that. But he took a pretty bad hit in training, and it was like more like an accident. You know, just kind of like the way things happen and everything like that.
Yeah, yeah,
But it put him down and everything, and he got concussed pretty bad. And then I mean, he like did the right thing though. You know, like he took like I think probably like almost like 2 months off or something like that. You know what I mean? But then
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like I started calling it concussion gate and everything. You know, but you know, point being though is like, you know, like I do bust his balls and everything like that, you know what I mean? But like I do respect it at the same time because like, you know, like just like you were saying, Lavelle, you know, like back then, you know what I mean? Like if you got dropped or something like that in practice, it was like, you know, like, all right, get up, let's keep going. We
Yes.
got shit to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, you know, and you know, as you can see, you know, people that do all that, you know, like it kind of ruins their career, right? Because like you like save all that, like not saying you never go hard or anything like that. I think like every once in a while you got to definitely step it up. You know, you got to have a little like real feeling every once in a while. But for the most part, like you know, it can't be too much. It's got to be like very very once in a while and stuff like that. Because that's how you keep a career. You know, like saving for the cage or the ring or whatever.
And that's the important thing, like, especially if like for people who like want to go pro or people who are trying to like pursue it for longer, like all these wars you see people having in the gyms, that shit's just is not worth it. It's not worth it. And I guess
Ah,
like it's not worth it. And again, we used to hurt each other. Like we'd be
yeah,
beating the shit out of each other for no
yeah.
reason, for nothing.
No.
Nobody's getting paid.
I'm gonna tell the world now that we're on live camera for the world to see. Lavelle fucked up my big toe for life, bro. My big I complained about it to him before. Like there's like this one sweep situation and like they had this like I don't know like what that you know like that black canvas like stretched over
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
thing, but it's loose though, and so your toes and stuff like that get caught. And he like went and swept my ass, and my toe got cut. Oh man, it's been messed up ever since. So I
So
blame him, you know, for that.
I apologize for that. I don't remember it though. I don't I don't remember it. But you're not the first person to tell me I hurt them, and I apologize to everybody I hurt in the past. I'm a changed man. I came from a bad environment.
Not a good person. He's not a good person.
I came from I drink a beer. Man, we need shout have beers right now. You out here having a good time.
So it's Sunday, you know. It was a nice long day with the kids and everything like
Yeah.
that. You know, it was a good time. But you know, this is I need this right now.
You gotta relax.
Yeah, freaking so let's get to like some I guess some more serious shit. Um because like so we talked before and I don't want to just like take all this airtime. I want Andrew to hop in with some stuff as well. But like we talk about like just sometimes you have conversations and we talk about like the philosophy of like how you think something that I love about like what you said that kind of changed my thought process on just like how to approach either owning a gym or running a gym or anything like that is like the level of commitment you think a coach should be involved in the training camps. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's something that overall I have felt has been lacking in my own personal camps. It's been lacking in my own training is like having that level of commitment from a coach. And it's not shade. I'm not throwing shade at anybody, but like where did that philosophy come from for you? Or like how did you develop that? Or like what made you kind of like what brought you to
No,
that
I
point?
mean, just the same as you. It's you know, it's no shade to you know like any past coaches or. You know, I think like when you do this, you know, you give a lot to. I don't like to call it a sport. It's a little bit more than a sport. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not like fighting in the streets. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? But it's more than a sport too. You know, but you put in a lot, and I think you need to be picky and choosy with who you have guiding you too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there needs to be this like I think like there should always be some sort of loyalty, of course, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you never want to forget people that brought you up in or anything like that, you know what I mean? But you need to find the best fit that's going to bring you the furthest in your career. Cause this is not like, you know what I mean? It's not like we're putting like, I mean, like, I don't want to say like lives, you know what I mean? Like, but I mean, kind of, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah,
I
you
mean,
can
could
get
be.
people do die
seriously
though.
hurt, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
Ooh,
people do die
And,
though. So like,
yeah,
you need the person who's gonna be the best fit for you and do the best thing for you, right? And everybody's different, like, so I mean, you can take that with a grain of salt. But I think, when athletes are giving that much, if they're giving that much, obviously you got to go off of like, what they're giving you too, you know what I mean? Um, but like, yeah, like I think like, coaches should be highly involved, they should be always be trying to like evolve and shit like that. And like, find new ways to put their fighters in better positions and stuff like that, make smart, management decisions, especially like for
yeah,
fighters that are like, not really at that level yet where they need management, you know what I mean? Like, is you
yeah,
as the coach, like you should be making these best decisions, not like off of ego or anything like that, but what's the best for my fighter? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like what's gonna put them in the best position, give them the most popularity, the best spotlight, you know what I mean? Like the type of fight that, you know what I mean? Like, that's gonna get them to go places and shit like that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And then like how much you put into their training, you know what I mean? Like I think a coach should be out there every day, you know what I mean? Like I don't like I'm not like a fan of like just like a general camp that like everybody's in. I think like everybody kind of like needs like a little bit of like their own like personalized personal attention thing, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they don't need to just be in like, then this is my opinion, you know what I mean? Like they don't need to be in like regular classes or anything like that or doing anything like they need to have things that are personalized for them, getting them ready, you know what I mean? To fucking handle business like
yeah. To actually
on
compete.
fight
Yeah,
night, you know what I mean?
yeah,
yeah,
So, I and some coaches, like it's hard for them to do, right? Because the gym isn't their life. They have other jobs. You know what I
yeah,
mean? They usually work full-time jobs. This is like their passion, you know what I mean? They love it and
yeah,
everything like that. But they have families, they got jobs, it's very hard to find a coach that's like I think like in this area that's like this is just like what they do. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So like
Like
you
this is
mean
like their
like you mean like it's hard to find like in Massachusetts like a coach that's just like this is just I want to do this, or like
I
just like
mean,
in general in the immune area.
I can only speak about Massachusetts right now because this
Yeah,
is where I live. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. No, that makes
Or
sense.
this
That makes sense.
New,
Huh?
New England area. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I'm not saying that there's not coaches like that. You know what I mean? But like I said, like there's a difference between a guy who's like able to do this after he gets off his shift of work. You know what I mean? And then he goes by the gym and then he spends the rest of his time, at the night. And he can't just worry about you as fighter. You know what I mean? He's got to also worry about like all like the gym running well. Like this and that. Like he's probably hired other coaches too, which kind of like may water down like his program and shit like that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
yeah.
Um,
No, I get what you're saying.
so again, I'm not saying that there aren't the coaches here. I just think that on the scale to get like fighters at like a higher level, like I think like I don't know, like people gonna come for my neck. Maybe I don't know. I think that Massachusetts or the New England scene here, I think they have a lot of talented fighters, a lot of talented fighters. I just think that they don't go as far as they could. You know what I mean?
I get what
For
you're saying.
whatever
Yeah.
the reason may be. Maybe it's because like the fights that they're getting aren't right. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's not like
Can I ask you a
elevating their.
question about that?
Say it again.
I do. When you say this, do you have a specific sport in mind? Like, are you thinking like MMA, Muay Thai, or everything in general? Like, because
I can
like
only
I feel like
speak
it depends
towards
on the
like
sport.
I can really only speak towards like MMA and like Muay Thai and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Even like in the MMA, like I mean, I can only kind of touch that just a little bit. I mean,
yeah,
only for the simple fact that while I am kind of like in the scene a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, like I made my pro debut here and everything like that. Like at the end of the day,
yeah,
like when I first came to this state, I got with Hard Knocks and that's when Bill owned the gym at the time. And, he had convinced me to, like, hey, like let's leave MMA alone for a little bit. And focus on your
Pursue Muay
Muay
Thai.
Thai, get your stand
Yeah.
up, you know, and that will spin back, right? And then I spent like the next year or two, like pretty much exclusively with just like hard knocks and everything like that. And I did a bunch of Muay Thai fights. It was nice. It was cool. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it a lot. Um, and then I ended up getting with Lozons and everything like that. And then I started like trying to pursue now, like getting back into the MMA scene, and it just never really popped off for me. So
Yeah.
it's like I probably have a little bit like more like saying it like when it comes to the Muay Thai world or kickboxing world than I can
Yeah.
with MMA. But like I think the same thing with MMA guys too. Like I think there's guys here that MMA wise that could go a lot further. You know what I mean? Like I think they could do a lot better. But I think some of it has to do with like the camps that are out here. I think compare when you look at like some of these like bigger camps that like produce like all these like fighters that get to like get on the scene, you know what I mean? I think a lot of guys here they get on the scene, the bigger scene, but then it's like it gets stagnant. You know what I mean? Like I think like the two last big names that are still in the UFC and like still there, like Font and Cater, you know what I
Rafa.
mean?
Yeah.
I,
Calvin Cater,
those
only
are the
two
last
guys.
guys. I personally think Botniak Kyle. I
Yeah. Yeah.
think he should. I don't know why. I can't remember why he got out of it. I never thought that they should have got rid of him. I thought he was a good fit though. I thought he looked good too. Like you know what I mean. But those are really like the last guys that you saw that made it to the big show and that were able to like stay. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
100%.
keep it going. You know what I mean? And
Well,
it's like no
the
shade to like again, like I know people might see this thing like it's like no shade to anybody. I mean, like listen,
yeah.
I've never made
It's
it
just
there. You know what I
conversation.
mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like like I'm 0-2 as a pro. Like, there's no
Yeah.
shade, but like this is like my life though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still
Yeah. I
like,
get what you mean.
I can't like these are my thoughts and like what I think about it. You know what I mean?
It's you basically critiquing your peers. It's nothing. Again, we're not throwing shade. We're just talking about the sport that we're all part of this sport in this region of the country. Well, I'm more
Okay.
global, but
Yeah.
just
I'm not gonna say international. All right, we get it. You know what I mean?
I'm just fucking around. But no, I get what you're saying. Like, cause like we live and breathe New England, but
Yeah.
like, or like the East Coast, cause like you're originally from New York, or like that New York was like your big part of like your journey.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I was in
yeah,
New York for a time. That's why I
but
started fighting. You know?
basically like we're just critiquing our peers and critiquing the scene in general. So like we're not trying to throw shade at fighters. We're just
Yeah,
talking about the current state of the fight scene and where we're from. And
yeah,
I think it's a common theme, like you said, with Calvin Cater and Rob Font. And I'll say it, if you watch a lot of the MMA guys, they fight guys who aren't up to par. They get into UFC and then they kind of go away, And they're just like, I think the difference between Rob Font and Calvin Cater was they fought guys who were at a high caliber. You can see certain names. If you look up Tapology, you can see certain names on the list of who they fought. They're like, oh, you're fighting this guy again. Oh, this guy fought everybody. His record's not that great, but it's just kind
I
of
mean,
how it works here for some reason.
it definitely doesn't help. I mean, like, listen, I'm not gonna go too deep into it because I gotta go into some of these gyms sometimes to train and shit like that. So I'm not gonna get too deep into it. But
No, we won't talk about like that. Yeah,
but all I'm saying is like, and I don't care, like, and I'll say, like I said, it's not the lack of talent.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think New England is so talented. I think they have a lot of good guys. I just like I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the promotions. I don't know if it's the fights they're taking. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
yeah,
It's just I feel like some of these guys could be on this much bigger stage and it's just not happening. Or when they get there, it's just they
yeah.
like you said, it's like like they just kind of fall off a little bit.
Wait, hold on a
Unfortunately.
second. Joe, what do you think the problem might be? What do you think the problem is, Andrew? Any idea?
I mean, I agree with Rob. These guys have the potential. Like everybody who makes it to the UFC, and you do see that phenomenon in Massachusetts and New England. It's like a lot of guys will make it and then not do so well. And yeah, there's a couple of guys that have done pretty well, but I don't know. It's probably a combination of a bunch of things. I mean, maybe it could be coaching, could be who you're training with. level you're training at, I feel like having like a stable of elite fighters to train with is, invaluable when you're at that level. But I don't know. I can't say for sure.
I think so. If I can piggyback, I think one thing that might be the issue is a lot of the promotions here are a vacuum. Like, for what I mean by that, like a lot of like these promotions that these guys fight on, they only fight local promotions. They never actually get to fight anyone outside of these promotions. So they're all just fighting each other.
Yeah.
So you're not really getting different looks by fighting somebody else who you can't watch tape on as easily, who was a completely different style from a completely different camp. Literally, you can look at most guys' records; they all fight the same 5, 6, 7, 8 different people, and it's like they get promoted as being like these stars, but it's a small vacuum because there's only one show or two shows in a local region that you're fighting in. So it's like once they
So
get,
maybe it's more exposure on international and different scenes.
I think that's what it is. I think so. It makes you better. Like, I think you need the international exposure. I think you need to fight competition outside of your wheelhouse. I think a lot of it comes from like being too comfortable. I think a lot of guys like being like the hometown hero, and so they don't feel comfortable going somewhere where you're getting booed. And then like it's gonna happen, So you should get that experience of going somewhere you're being booed for a second.
You definitely need to travel as a fighter. You need to go to other places.
You have to. Speaking of traveling, how do you feel about cross training? By the way, we're having like we have like an internal debate about this. So I'm just curious, like outside perspective.
I mean, I believe in cross training. I mean, like, yo, listen, man, I'm the king of cross training. I've trained at a bunch of different, you know what I mean? Like, I love it.
Yeah.
I think, when you do this, maybe as an amateur, I could see it a little bit more like, like, hey, I don't want to fight this guy or that guy. Maybe as an amateur, I guess. I don't know. But if you're gonna only be on the regional scene, you got to fight the regional guys, and unfortunately, you know what I mean? There's going to be times where like we need good fights, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not like I want you guys to hate each other. Like, my when I first started out, I started out in New York, right? And my teammate, Edwin Mach, Rivera, fucking, we were teammates. We were doing, this was my first time competing. It wasn't like an official fight thing. It was called the STS challenge. It was for the MMA Expo. It was at the Javits Center though, which was like, it was pretty nice. They were like trying to get like MMA legalized, and it was something that they had been doing like for a couple of years or some shit like that. But it was called the STS challenge, right? It's my first time doing like something like real big. And it was the stand up takedown submission. Like you did 1 round of Muay Thai, 1 round of wrestling takedowns, or 1 round of jiu-jitsu. And with that, you could like lose within those rounds, right? You could be knocked out in the Muay Thai, you could be submitted in the jiu-jitsu or whatever. But point being is, we were in 2 different weight. No, we ended up being in the same weight class or something like that. But for whatever reason, they made us fight each other. And it's like, we were boys, you know what I mean? It's like, and we were friends right after, you know what I mean? And like, but we went at it, you know what I mean? Like, there was no love lost. We went at it. Like, we did it. And like, this was like we found out day of. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know what I mean? Like, we found out day of, and it's like, did we want to? No. You know what I mean? But it's like, we're all fucking adults here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may have to fight somebody you trained with or whatever. And like, yeah, okay, they may know some of your moves. Learn some new ones. Or just make it so good that you can't stop it, right?
Yeah.
Make it so good you can't stop it. You know what I mean? Like,
if you're that predictable,
like, like, I hate people that take down their YouTube videos. I hate them. I hate them. Like, if you take down your YouTube videos,
who does that?
Fuck you if you take down your YouTube video.
Okay, now you're throwing bad shade, bro.
All right, but I have to, because it's just like, leave it up. Like, leave it up. Like, I don't ever try to say, like, you could go look up any video, like, look at them all. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like,
who's doing that? Part of the game, who's taking all the YouTube videos? Who's know people who do that? Who's doing that?
Bro. Like, yo, there's people, like, it's hard to find video on people. It's like, yo, they have like 20 fights. I can't find one. I'm like, yo, where are they at?
Okay. Yeah, that happened in my last fight. Like, when I fought my last fight.
You end up, or you can get them, but you'll have to like buy, like, and I'm cheap.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Like, fucking, when I fought that big ass dude in California, zero footage on this guy, and
Yeah,
like freaking shit like that. Yeah,
there's zero chance he had that many fights, and then
it was
yeah,
zero for yeah.
Yeah, I hate it.
I mean,
But so yeah, it's like I think what were we saying? I think we went off on the tangent.
are
My
we?
apologies.
Yeah,
I
we
feel
went off
like
a tangent, but it's okay. We say,
yeah,
Andrew?
I feel like if you're doing your job well, if you have your fights on YouTube and somebody sees them, you should be able to do something different,
Yes.
or you know, maybe they
It's
just
like
won't be able to stop you from doing it. I don't know,
yes, exactly, right, and so like I think like what we were we went on, but yes, I think cross training's fine. You may have to fight somebody you've cross trained with before. I mean, like that's up to you guys if you want to have beef. I know some people they need to be mad, or whatever. I mean, like I know some people need different things to fight. You know what I mean? But I think that the idea that you're not gonna fight somebody just because you trained with them before, like, I mean, you gotta put that like in the that's got to go to the side, of my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, that brings me to another question. I have mad questions for you because like you have experience in New York, you have experience in Boston, or Massachusetts, or New England, and I feel like the culture is completely different between the two. I'm not sure when the last time you actually been to New York to train or anything like that, but I feel like New York is more inviting for people training with each other, and Massachusetts is more like everybody's like, "This is mine. Don't touch don't touch it." You know what I mean? I feel like
I
and
mean,
like I
New
was
York,
talking.
New York's just a different vibe, bro. You
It's
know
a
what I
different
mean? It's
vibe. It's a
like,
different vibe. Like I train out freaking our homie now, not just yours. John Pena's gym, Zombie. I go there every so often.
my man Johnny
Yeah,
Love. That's Johnny Love right there. That's my man. He's a good guy. He's
yeah,
a good guy.
yeah. He just fought recently too. Did you?
yeah.
I'm not
Yes,
sure if you know.
retained his
Yeah,
title.
yes. TKO in the third round, I believe it was.
Yes.
Yeah. Freaking, I need to go back to Zombie and go freaking train over there. About that, I mean something. Because I remember when I first moved to New York. So when I moved to New York in 2019, and I asked you if you knew anybody. And that's not
Yeah.
how I like that's how I freaking learned about him. And I messaged him and he told me to go to some other gym. And I was like, man, I'm not going to that gym. You're training because like I remember I went on his Instagram. He was training somewhere
Yeah.
else. I was like, what the fuck? I'm not going to that gym. I'm going to the place you're training at. And that's how I ended up going to Two Bridges by accident because
Yeah.
he was probably cross training at Two Bridges. I ended up at Two Bridges. That's how I went there a couple of times. But like, he opened
Yeah.
his own gym. Where am I going with this? When I went and trained at his gym, he told me a story about you. He said, "Oh, the freaking what did he say? What did he say? He said like he saw you fight somebody that was like double your size or something like that. You fought like a weight class or two above. You fought somebody big, and he said
I
he had like respect for you or something like that. So watching you fight somebody like way above your weight class or some shit like that. And that was like the first day I went to his gym. He was talking about you.
Yeah, it was I took a fight like on like 2 weeks notice. It was like the 185, and the guy was a pretty big guy, but I ended up getting a split decision win. It was pretty
Yeah.
nice.
Well, where
But
were
that
you at?
actually,
Like
say it again.
what weight were you at? If he was 185, you're like what? 160, 145? You're not a big guy.
Oh no, I
Pretty
mean
small.
you can only weigh so much less. I think I was like, but this was like also me like wearing my like sweatpants like with like my keys and like wallet in it. But I think I was like 180 or something like that.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I was I was more. But to be honest with you, that fight, that's why I say like fighters always got to be ready for opportunity.
Yeah.
You got to be ready for opportunity. I took that fight. I mean, like, for a fairly short notice, 2 weeks, right? I got that split decision win. And because of that, those guys, they were like, all right, this guy, he's willing to fight. He's tough, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And that's what got me that's how I was able to win the combat. When combat, victory combat was in New York. That's how I won their
Yeah.
title
Okay.
because
Off
they
of that
needed a
fight.
guy. They had a guy. I think the title at the time was vacant. I don't think anybody had
Yeah.
it. And they had this guy who had he had like won a title somewhere else and stuff like that. And he was like supposed to be like becoming like a name like on the like regional New York scene right there in the city and everything.
Yeah.
Fucking we did our thing, then we got that title though. So I mean, like that's why I say like you always gotta like fucking. opportunity, man. If it asks, like, just take it, just do it. Don't hesitate. Sometimes, I mean, I guess, I don't know, but don't hesitate. Think about
No,
it, but don't. I
I
don't know.
agree. Like I feel like on the amateur level, um, I think you should take. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have dreams of going pro. Amateur doesn't fucking matter. Just get the experience. You know, I feel like amateur is a precursor to you figuring out the correct way to be a professional. So like, make the mistakes at amateur. Take all the fights you can. Fight the toughest fights you can. Like, stop dodging people and
Yeah.
figure all the shit out so you can then be a better pro. Like that's like
Oh, yeah.
the goal to me. Like that was my goal. Like my goal wasn't like I wanted to just. I mean, my goal with being an amateur was I just wanted to rack up as many fights as I can, so I could just go pro and like have experience. You know, that's why I travel everywhere. That's why I don't care where I fight. You even told me that like I was taking wrong fights once. Like maybe you'd be like, because like I would take any fight. So like I try to be more aware of that now for what fights I choose. You
You
told me
have
that.
to, especially as a pro, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you got to be making like the, like, I think people, there's some people that play it too safe, you know what I mean? Like, or they,
Yeah.
or they just take stupid fights, but, no, you got to be very like, this is like chess, you got to be putting yourself in the right positions, you know what I mean? And like, you want fights. The thing is like, you want fights that are going to bring you to that next thing, you know what I mean? Like, you want like, you want the fights that are like not just gonna be exciting, but like that like are the names. Like you want the people that are like on the come up, right? Like if you actually want to
Yeah.
go somewhere, right? You can't be just fucking fighting cans all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you gotta
No,
like
it's
take
true.
these
It's
tough
true.
fights and fucking put yourself in the position. And not just that, but like it also like you said earlier, right? Like it prepares you for when you get to that bigger show. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like, like when you get to a certain level, bro, like when you get to those like bigger shows, like these are like people like these aren't like half-assers anymore. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
even just Lavell, just taking the step to being a pro, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even though you can kind of half-ass being a pro, don't get me wrong, you can, but like it's definitely like a bigger like nah, get out of here. But it's definitely like a bigger step though, like right, like it shows like the commitment somebody has now, right, to
Yeah.
the craft, right, and then like when you take those pros and you get them onto these higher value shows that we're like talking about, right, it's not like a fuck around game anymore, right? Like
Yeah.
now you got to be your sharpest, you
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
be your best, right? And if you're used to fighting people who are not like on that level, you know what I mean? Like you're not necessarily like even if you're good, right? Like you could have this skill, like you could literally be skilled enough to be at that level, but it's like it's so much more to it. You know what I mean? Like you're getting used to fighting people that are like not that good. You know what I mean? Like versus
Yeah.
like people that are like really good. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be the same look. Your
It's not the same.
reactions aren't going to be the same. You know what I mean? Like your selection's not going to be the same. You know what I mean? And like your comfortability is not going to be the same. You're
Yeah.
going to be like, you're going to be sucking your own dick. Like, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, bro, like, no, you know what I mean? Like, no, you know what I mean? Like you're going to go against guys that like have like had these tough fights and like, they're used to this. Like they're used to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this
Yeah.
is like, not saying like it's not tough for them too. You know what I mean? But like, I mean, like there's levels to it. You know what I mean?
There's levels. So with that, let's kind of piggyback off of that. Let's kind of transition a little bit. What would be some advice you would give to people who are either what would be some advice you would give to people who are like beginners, or some advice you would give to people who may not be, I don't know, maybe not so sure of their direction of themselves, and like just like in general, like if somebody wanted to like improve, or if somebody was looking for just advice on how to navigate the fighting space, what would you say?
Like how to enter into it.
Not just enter into it, just like how to navigate it. Like, say you're already starting. Let's say we all know to get enter it, go to a fucking gym. That's the start. Go train. That's the start. You know, show that you're
I mean, you
serious.
go to a gym. I mean, like we like all right. So like we're newbies. We going to the gym, right? I mean, like one, like I mean, I don't know. I guess it's hard because like I don't think some people know what to look for, but like you want to try to like just like be like aware of like what's happening around you. Like, do you feel safe there? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be going somewhere where like somebody's gonna beat the shit out of you. You know what I mean? Like, what when you're a newbie? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
You
our
want to
gym.
make sure that you see like actual skill there, that people that look like they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? And then and like I said, like while like I said, like when I say feel safe, I just meant in like in the sense of like how these people are treating you. You know what I mean? Like like as far as like like attitude and stuff like that. Like I mean, like you don't want to be somewhere like somebody's treating you like an asshole. You know what I mean? Like you don't want that, and you also don't want people that are like physically like you know what I mean? It's like I'm a beginner, like I should be like being like guided how to get there. You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't just be getting thrown into the wolves. You know what I mean? Um, so I think that's stuff like you should definitely be aware of, like when you're going to the gym. You know what I mean? And if that doesn't fit that criteria, like you need to skedaddle. You know what I mean? Like you need to bounce and find a new
Yeah,
spot. And then when you get there and you find a spot that you feel comfortable, you know what I mean? If fighting's your goal, it's like definitely like go in there. You know what I mean? Like make sure you're going in all the time. You know what I mean? Like think about like your strength and conditioning as well. You know what I mean? Like you can't lack on that. Like so figure out like, like something like you did, Lavell, where like you went and like found Don Heatrick online and you like went and bought
yeah,
his program and like that's something that worked for you and you got real deep into it and then ended up even like, becoming friends with the guy and he's kind of like a sponsor now type shit. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah.
fucking like stuff like that. You know, I kind of got right from the tangent there. Um Come in every day, listen to your coaches, like they'll let you know like when you're ready. I mean, like a coach definitely shouldn't like I think like anywhere from like 6 months to a year, like depending on like um what you're bringing athletically and like what you're showing in the gym. You know what I mean? Like some people are gonna
Yeah.
move faster than others. You know what I mean? So I think it's like like listen to your coaches. Like like I think if you've been training like 6 months to a year, I think like if you've been dedicated and like you've been going every day, like really like showing up and you feel like coaches have been saying you're improving and everything like that, then I think like you should be definitely thinking about like seeing like what's going on with fights or like your coach should be trying to get that going too. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if that's like your goal, like you should also know that your coach is like know that that's your goal. You know what I mean? So like make sure you're on the
Yeah.
same page. So that way you're gonna achieve that in the end. Is that kind of like what you're looking for? Or?
Yeah, yeah, for the most part. Yeah. Like, because I know some people, like, for example,
It's
I'm just
staticky
trying to think.
too. I don't know if that's my computer or not.
I'm not sure. I can hear the static too. Um, it might be you. Or is it me? Be sure let me mute myself. Let's see.
Is it me?
I believe it's Andrew.
It's me,
Andrew, mute
really.
yourself real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Andrew.
Sorry, Mr. Lisby.
How about now?
uh,
Is it better?
It is better.
Yeah, because I can't hear it now. I could hear it before.
No, it's definitely better.
it's better. It's better.
Sorry about
Then
that.
I was like, I thought it was Rob. Like, yeah, Rob, freaking your car's going crazy over there.
Like,
What's going
like the
on?
audacity, bro.
Super
It's like,
static.
you see what I deal with, Andrew? This is like,
I was like, damn.
he wonders why I want to fight because this is how I get treated. This is how I get
Bro, I
treated.
treat you so well. Every time I see you, you're just trying to talk smack. Like, oh, you think you're better than us
Bro,
because you're in Mexico, you're in China?
he's
No,
always
bro.
like, yo, next time I'm around and I'm training, I'm gonna hit you up, Rob. I'm like this. I'm just waiting by my
I
phone.
hit you up
Like
all the
this.
time. What are you talking about?
I don't know,
What happened
Andrew.
last
I don't
time, bro? Craziness.
So, Rob,
Like the
you
time.
said you started training in New York. Let's get back to your roots. How did you get involved with training, and how did that journey start for you?
We don't care about
Um,
that.
Damn.
I mean, to be
You're trying
honest
to run
with
up this fight.
I didn't start doing this till 2011, 2012, and like somewhere around there. And I was like 28 when I started doing all this. No prior background. I mean, I guess like I wrestled for 2 years in middle school. I
Okay.
guess I guess that's a prior background. You know, I was just 28. I always wanted to do it. When I was a kid, I was a little bit of a troubled child. You know what I mean? I grew up with my aunt and uncle, and like they didn't want me doing any martial arts. Thinking that I'd probably like do something bad with it or something like that. Like in reality, it probably would have helped me. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
probably would have, been like really good for me. And I was just like, all right, well, I want to do it, and like, so I tried doing like some boxing gym at first and everything like that. And then like, no lie, like I like this, like, it sounds crazy, but like, I got this like kind of like knee injury from like doing something at, like, this plumbing job that I was working at the time and everything like that. And this guy, I was telling the guy, I was like talking to the trainer, like, yo, like, I still want to do this. It's like right now, like the running is fucking up my knee. Like, I can't do the running right now. And he thought like I was a pussy or something like that. He
Yeah.
was like, nah, bro. Like, he wasn't like trying to hear it. So like, it didn't work out with him. And then like, I started going to this, I was at this, YMCA gym over in, what was it? I can't remember what part of it, but it was like over like, near like downtown.
Point? No.
Not Greenpoint. No, it's like over like by downtown. Like, over like on it's like Smith Street, like Gold's Gym, like over on like I think it's like Smith Street or something like that. I might have the exact street wrong. But point being is, I was going there. I started chilling with this guy who was like at the front desk. Like we started like doing like he was like self-proclaimed like like self-taught like like martial arts type guy. You know what I mean? Like just always like a nerd like looking up stuff. But like he was actually pretty type good. You know what I mean? Like for somebody who just kind of taught himself. You know what I mean? Like he was pretty nice and he like worked the front desk and like then he like kind of like started like, it's like, oh yeah, like we started chilling and talking and stuff like that. And we started doing like stuff in the back. And then I met this guy who did like this like Muay Baran like
Mm.
shit. And I kind of like started doing like training with him and everything like that. And then I think it was like this guy well I can't I trying to think of like how the lineage actually started. I think it was like through a friend of mine that I knew. He introduced me to this guy, Jose Nunez, who was well, first I started doing some jiu-jitsu training with this guy that I knew, the friend of mine, right? I mean, I even did like a jiu-jitsu tournament, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in 2011, if I'm not mistaken. That was like my first experience. And then like he introduced me to this guy, Jose Nunez, who I started doing like boxing and like kind of like kickboxing style, like because he had like a full range. Like he did like karate, but like the school that he went to, like the guys did like a little bit of judo, like they were like Vietnam vet guys. So they had
Right.
like this like karate style, like with like judo mixed in, like they had like this weird style and stuff like not weird, but I was like, he was pretty dope. Like the guy was nasty, he was good.
Yeah.
And he introduced me to John Salgado, Greco Salgado. He's been on a couple like he's been on like Bellator and like M1 and stuff like that. He's been on some shows and stuff like that. He did this thing. But he introduced me to him and then that's kind of like where everything took off. I met him and like it was so funny, like uh it was my first time ever doing like any type of MMA training and everything like that. And I was actually with this guy, John Salgado, and stuff like that. Like to speak about Lavell, like what training was like back then, you know what I mean? Like me, a beginner, never doing this shit before. And fucking I had no idea, you know what I mean? And like we're on the ground now, right? Like we had like been on the ground, went from standing to down to the ground. And I like hit him like while I was on the ground. Like I think I was on the bottom, like and I punched him in the face. And he's like, "Oh, we hitting on the ground?" And I was like, yeah, I guess, you know what I mean? And then like, oh, bro, he just proceeded to beat the shit out of me, right? Kind of like, like not too crazy, you know what I mean? But like definitely like more like showing me like, I was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like I didn't know it was like this, but that's kind of like where I was like, all right, well, like, yo, like I like this, like I want to learn this, and it kind of like, at first it was just like, I wasn't thinking like fighting or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like I was just kind of like, all right, I really want to learn this shit. You know what I mean? This
Yeah.
and that. Like it quickly turned into like, all right, I want to fight. You know what I mean? And if I'm not mistaken, the STS challenge I talked to you guys about earlier with the Javits, it was my first, like actual like real competition after the jiu-jitsu thing. Um, and then yeah, I just was like, all right, like I kind of just went and did my thing and because I was 28 and I had no experience and I was going with these guys who were all like, like grew up doing martial arts and this and that, you know what I mean? Like I was just like, all right, well, I'm just gonna take any fight that I could get, you know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
I have boxing fights, I have Sanda fights, you know what I mean? I have MMA fights, I have even like I have one kickboxing fight where it was like it's like American style rules or however, but it's like no like kicks below the waist.
You
You
were
know what I mean?
you were
Like,
long
yeah.
pads.
But
You were
well, you wear like there's the shin guards with the boots and stuff like that.
yeah
You know what
yeah.
I mean? And
The hand
fucking
kicks are fine though.
yeah, oh yeah. And this guy, I fought this guy. Man, let me tell you, this guy looked like the biggest fucking nerd, bro.
Yeah.
He looked like the biggest nerd. But this guy's lead high kick,
Yeah.
I mean, zero telegraph, and like from stance, no step over, no nothing. And like, yo, when he snapped that thing, I mean, I had my hand up, thankfully, you know what I mean? But like when he snapped that thing like through the glove, I could feel that like no like telegraph. Like I was like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like he was good. I won that fight though, I outboxed him,
Yeah.
But fucking but yeah, like, from there, like I just started competing and it just got more and more serious. And then, at the time I was a plumber and this is all still in New York, like I was a plumber at the time. I was a union guy. But then I ended up getting this non-union job and then at that time I was like thinking about transitioning over to being a personal trainer because I was like, all right, well, I want to be in the gym more. Like, if I want to do this, like, I want to be in the gym more and everything like that. And I thought that that's how I would be able to do it. So while I was still working, I would like went and got my personal training certificate and everything like that. And then I started kind of like just doing like some, um, like just classes, like teaching them for free, like at the, like for like at the John Salgado's gym and shit like that.
Yeah.
Just teaching them like just like see like how I would do, you know what I mean? And then yeah, like I ended up getting a job at Equinox, and then the rest is history from there. Like I kind of just like went from there, and like then I started my own like PT business, and I kind of like just been doing that. I still do like plumbing, but like on my own and everything. But I just like I just made everything happen to where I could just focus on fighting, and then now that I'm older, you know, you got to think about that. What's after? Obviously, like I love this shit. Like it forever. So coaching's obviously the next thing. So while I still have a few fights and I want to get some more, like that's kind of like the next chapter, and like that's what I've been focusing on. Most specifically, with Hard Knocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, you know, me and Gustavo have had a good thing going. You know what I mean? I think he's been happy with what we've been doing. You know what I mean? And all the coaches have been doing a fantastic job with the fighters and everything. Um, but yeah, so that's how New York. What happened in New York? That was the thing, and we had a good time in New York. Like I miss it. I miss the energy over there. Like
Yeah.
It's different. It's different.
before. I loved it out there. Like it was great energy. The fight scene was good. You know what I mean? Like fucking, bunch of characters. Like, but like yo, I mean, just like here, like cats could fight though. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
fucking, they got some good stuff out there in New York.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was good, like it was love, it was a fun time. I miss it, like I haven't been out there in like years. Like I mean, like I haven't like trained out there. In years. I go out visit them once in a while, but yeah, I definitely miss it though.
Andrew, I think you might be having static again. Unless that's me.
Yeah, no, it keeps fading in, and then I turn my mic off, and then it goes away, and then not really sure.
I think it should be fine now. Should be Big Country's job telling us when this going off, bro.
Rob, what brought you to Boston?
My wife.
Oh, nice.
Yes, yes.
I'm still mad.
Um,
Hold on. I'm still mad. I didn't get to go to the wedding. I'm still. That's why I have beef. That's why I have
I
beef, bro.
told her, I
I
told her,
didn't
I
get.
said like, oh, why
I
didn't
didn't
you
even get
personally
invited.
invite? Like, I blame her. I
I didn't
blame
even get
her.
invited, bro. Listen. I came back from New York. I helped this dude propose to his wife. I helped, and then no invite.
I mean,
So
I didn't
crazy.
think you wanted to go down to Texas.
I'll go. I would win. I would have went there, bro. So crazy. This is why you talk about. I have problems. This dude help this man propose to his wife and then get zero
No,
invites. I find out from
Andrew,
pictures it happens.
Andrew. It was during COVID times. It was literally just our immediate family. We already had.
I'm not family
Imagine.
now.
I
I'm
I'm
not
understand.
not
family now.
saying you're not family. I'm not saying you're not family. But But
Wild.
imagine like all her family that's mad at her that because they can't go, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're not
Yeah.
invited, and they just see pictures of Lavell and me, you know, like we just chilling like, and
I
then be
should.
like,
I
yo,
should have been there. That's all I know. I should have been there. That's crazy.
listen, I'm gonna tell her tomorrow.
tell
I'm gonna
tell
go
her tell
tell
her I
her.
said
I'm like, I'll blame you. I
hi.
blame
Tell her I
you.
said hi.
I will, but yes, we met in New York. Actually, you know, I was actually a trainer at a gym that she used to frequent, you know what I mean? I was a trainer there and everything like that. And I busted her balls about like, yo, why haven't you really been coming to my class or anything like that, you know, this and that. And then she ended up coming, you know, and the rest is history. You know, I'm charming and whatnot. You know, I can't help it, you know. Um, no, I'm a lucky guy. I'm a lucky guy. But yeah, and then I was traveling abroad and she was switching up jobs and everything like that. Ended up getting a job, if I'm not mistaken, it was when she worked at DraftKings. And so that brought her back over here. And so, you know, I was coming back. I had nothing else going on. Like prior to that we hadn't been living together or anything like that, you know, but we were like a little bit serious, you know. So yeah, she said like we just like, you know, like coming back, like fuck it, let's take the chance, you know, like I came out here and you know, here we are.
Nice.
Okay.
So was your last fight the kickboxing fight at Combat Zone, right?
Yes, yes.
Nice. It was a KO, right?
It was a KO. It was a KO. Yes.
Big
My
country.
night.
Can you pull that up for us? Is that can we see that KO?
Yeah, Combat Zone.
Combat Zone, yeah.
Are you gonna fight there again soon? Is there any like rumblings of any?
I'm trying to
Any
get something going, man. I want to fight two
bro?
more times this year. I want to fight two more
Why don't
times.
you? Would you ever fight on Karate Combat?
Say it again.
Would you ever fight on Karate Combat? I feel like that would be a good fit.
I don't know. You know, like I've been asked this question before. I don't know. You know, like I don't
Because it's
know.
not really
Maybe
karate anymore. It's not really karate. It's
I
kind of
know
like
it's
low
almost
key
like
MMA.
MMA style. It's
Yeah,
almost like MMA style. But that's why, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like MMA for me is done. Like I mean, you know, like unfortunately, like you know, I didn't get to get my win, you know, as
yeah,
a pro, you know. I did well as a amateur, you know. I was happy with what I did as an amateur. I thought I could have done a little bit more, like if I like got like some more amateur fights, you know, but that is what it is. Uh but yeah, unfortunately I didn't get the win as a pro, but it's just too time consuming, you know. I mean, like we just had our second kid, you know what I mean? Like fucking it, you know. I'm also, you know, I'm 42 this year, you know. We're not a spring chicken, you know, while I still move a bit like a young man, you know, I think I still got some good fights in me, you know. I think, you know, just, you know, where are we going with this? You know, unfortunately, that's just
yeah,
being realistic, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
just
yeah.
at my, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, you know, I want to have a few more fights, but you know, like that's not the yes.
Well, I'm
Nice.
saying,
What were we getting at again? I lost. I
I
tailed
just
off.
brought up your last fight.
bring up the last fight, but also saying that like I think Karate Combat would be a good fit if you could possibly end up
Yes.
there. Because again, it's karate, but it's basically like kickboxing / Muay Thai with MMA. Like has ground
No,
and
no. Oh,
pound.
that's what I was getting at. So point being is, I'm just sticking with just like Muay
Stand up
Thai
striking.
kickboxing, like
Yeah.
just because it's too time consuming. Like even like with something like that, like with like the karate combat, it's still like it's just I just want to worry about the stand up and that's it. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we'll just go from there. Like because we just had there's just too much going on in personal life. Like just training for just like a Muay Thai or kickboxing fight alone is time consuming. As you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you still got to put in a lot of hours. But when you do MMA, I mean, at the very least, you know what I mean? Like depending on like how your style is, like what it is. I mean, like at the very least, like you are kind of like training like stand up separately,
Yeah.
jujitsu
Yeah.
separate. You gotta definitely be doing some wall work or some wrestling. I hope you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then like if you're at a camp that's good, like you're not only doing those separate, but then you're also doing like, your transition training, you know what I mean? Like your stand up to takedowns, back to stand up to frames to wall work to you know what I mean? Like you got to be working these transitions, you know what I mean? Like those
Yeah.
transition
Yeah.
periods, like that's what really matters in MMA, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of different things you got to do alongside strength and conditioning. It's a lot like you're in the gym 100% way more for MMA, or you should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Than you
Yeah.
are like when you're on like don't get me wrong, like I know it's a little bit different. Like if you live in like Thailand and stuff like that, I'm not go like over there like doing like 2 a day and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, but I'm talking about like the average person who's just like working over here, you know what I mean? Like fighting over here
Yeah.
is a luxury, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
fucking most people are working, you know what I mean? Like they have like a job because like this doesn't really pay shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you're
Yeah.
like at
Yeah.
level,
Yeah.
so for what people have to do normally, like you know what I mean? Like this is time consuming, you know what I mean? And I think MMA is a lot more involved, so I'm leaving that alone. Unfortunately, I gotta take that one on the chin. 0-2 as a pro, unfortunately, but now we want to know in kickboxing, Muay
Kickboxing.
Thai,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. I don't know why they call it kickboxing because I mean you can elbow, you can clinch. It's just like yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah,
it's
I noticed
kickboxing.
that they always call it kickboxing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's because
But
it's in New
that's
Hampshire.
whatever,
That's why.
like we got a nice win. Unfortunately, like I would have liked a little bit of a higher caliber like opponent, like no offense to him, you know what I mean?
Nah, it seems like
I
you're
was a
Damn.
little
steamrolling. That's
Shots
I was a little
fired.
bit confused why they wanted the fight. Because I saw the guy's record, like he only had like MMA fights and like his amateur record was very few, and then like as a pro he didn't have very many. He only had one win as a pro and like not very
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
fights either. In I think maybe they thought like because I was like on a little bit of a losing skid, you know what I mean, a little losing streak. Maybe they
Yeah.
thought like I just lost it. I don't know, but yeah, I was a little bit confused. But I actually tried to postpone it and asked them to try to find me somebody like I mean, like, like it was my first fight coming back in a while. I had been
Yeah.
on a
It's
losing
a
streak,
tune-up
but
fight.
like I mean, like tune-up fights are fine, you know what I mean? But like I also like I also believe like, like you just gotta fight.
Yeah, but you're just. I mean, I think you mean to. When I say it's a tune-up fight, I don't mean it as a sense like you need a tune-up fight. I'm just saying like again, it's a way to kind of get you back into the groove of fighting. You know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes you
yeah,
need that.
yeah.
I feel like sometimes you need that. Like sometimes, like for example, I feel like the fight I had in Mexico, I feel like it was kind of a tune-up fight. I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel like I haven't fought in like almost 6-7 months. Haven't cut weight
Yeah.
in almost a year, and I feel like I needed that fight just to kind of get back to the groove. Like, okay, this is what weight cutting feels like. This is what fighting feels like again. This is what like all it feels like. So when I do fight bigger opponents, I'm back into like that like mold versus kind of having to relearn that. If that makes sense. You don't lose it, but I feel like you get uncomfortable with it sometimes. Here's a knockout right here.
That's the
Yeah.
first. That's the person. That's the person I've got.
You say? This is crazy.
That was and that was
That was the first one?
like,
That was the finish. This was first round too, right?
yeah, this is the first round.
Look, you think you can, all right, forget it. I'm gonna call you. This is combat zone, right? I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna
Yes.
fight combat zone and call you out.
I mean, like, listen, like, I definitely did like against the guy, like, I did what I was supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, it was a good win. You know what I'm saying? And
You
like I
showed
said,
that he
like,
didn't belong in there with you.
it was no offense to him. Like when I say that, you know what I mean? I mean, this is just like like I said, you know what I mean? Like this is just like my, you know, like this is how I am, you know.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good win. I want to fight. Possibly, they were supposed to do a show in July that I was trying to get on, but now maybe I'll just get on their August show, and then I'm trying to end it with
August win.
how many people get to see this podcast? I gotta put pressure on No Boundaries. You know what I mean? I still gotta fill out the paperwork, but I told them I want to get on that because I'd love to close out
Yeah.
The House of Blues card.
the Blues card, right?
Yeah.
I reached out to them. They didn't say no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, but like, you
Yeah,
know, if
yeah.
you guys want, you know, one of your favorites, you know what I mean? Like, you guys out there watching this, you know, like put the pressure on. But nobody's gonna put pressure.
We'll clip this. So people watch it. I'll say we get better numbers on Instagram than like on our Spotify and YouTube right now. We get a decent amount, but like we'll clip it. Lil Birdie, I mean, your boy right here might be fighting in hospital. We might have to be, you know, share.
I saw it's like we can be in camp together, bro. You come move in. We got the space, right? You know, like you come move in. Like we're out here like Rocky. Like we got the woods. You know what I'm saying? Like
I might have to. I don't have a gym right now. I might have to do that.
I mean, like we over here, bro. I put together my last camp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I had like, you know, like I brought in like the people that I wanted to be in my corner and coach, you know what I mean? And, like,
Yeah.
but like I actually like wrote out like my last like camp and everything like that. And, like all the like the breakdown of it, you know, like I did it very similar to like how I like run other people's camps and stuff like that. And that like goes into like what we talked about like earlier, Lavell, you know what I mean? Like about like what coaches like put in and everything like that.
Yeah.
You know, like because like I don't really like have like a quote unquote like coach right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Same boat.
You know, but you know, like you know, Gustavo's my boy. You know what I mean? Like you know, I worked the guy Billy Raskowski, Coach Raz was in the camp. Our guy Big Chris helped out and everything like that. You know, I trusted them, you know, like to help, like, you know, like guide me through like what I had put in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like push me, you know what I mean? Because like you're still like you can't try to do it all yourself. Like you need like those guys to be like this, and this, you know what I mean? Like they gotta push you, like, you know, you need that coach to do that, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like it helps having that team around you to help push you and guide you because it makes your job easier. There's less you have to think about. You know what I mean? If you're doing every little detail yourself.
And that's what you're supposed to do as a coach, right? Like I want my fighter to fight, right? Like they don't need to be worried about like what they're doing, what it's gonna be. You don't they don't need to worry about any of that. Just do this.
Yeah.
This and you're gonna be ready, right? And I think like that's shown, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I think that's shown like with the wins that we've had, like in this like recent like year and a half.
Yeah, Maria looked good her last fight. Maria fucking whooped that girl. Maria. Yeah.
Everybody, I mean, like even like Mario, like when he did,
yes, his last fight too.
Mario's opponent got switched out like 3 or 4 times, right? Like he got that guy, like okay, that guy took the last minute for sure. But I mean, like, you know, that's still a lot like on a guy who like, you know, has been trying to get ready for one guy and then another guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's at a weight class that I think is honestly too big for Mario. I think Mario should be a little bit lower.
Yeah. He went up, didn't he?
Say it again.
He went up, didn't he? Go up in weight for that fight?
Well, that was like I thought you know, like I wanted him to. I think they had already agreed to 173 before like I got to like kind of like butt in like with my opinion.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see them at least do it at 170 because, like, I figured the guy's like walking in like last minute. He must be heavy. You know what I mean? Like that's why
Yeah,
they
yeah,
asked the
yeah.
170. So it's like
Yeah.
at least make it cut like a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Make
yeah.
him suffer. Um, you know, but like Mario should definitely be in like the 160s, like maybe like
Yeah.
150. You know what I mean? Um, but like I mean, like let's be honest. I mean, like the guy had like power in his hands, the other guy, and like Mario, like you know, he looked like good for like you know what I mean, like for the
Definitely.
adjustments. And like, um, we didn't get to get him the camp that we wanted to, unfortunately, just because of like the way things fell. You know what I mean? So we didn't get to get him the camp that he should have had, but even with that, you know what I mean? Like he showed up, he got the finish in the third, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think like the only real round that he was tested was the second.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and the other guy definitely hit him with like in the first two, like definitely hit him with some clean shots, you know what I mean? But when I rewatched the video, I thought like in the first round, I thought he did a lot better than I realized. Like, you know what I mean? I
The
think like
guy or
sometimes
Mario?
Mario.
Mario, okay.
I think like, sometimes like in the moment, like you know what I mean, like when you're coaching, like you're like nitpicking everything. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
like
yeah.
you don't see, like the good. But like I rewatched and I was like, I thought he actually did really well in the first. Second round was like his shaky round, but then you got that. You know, he came back in that third and
Yeah, came
fucking
back in there
and he,
and finished him.
and he was tested because he definitely got that chin touched. And like he
Yeah,
did
yeah.
it. Like fucking the guy had like some power in the hands.
He was
Yeah,
big.
yeah.
And he came through, like he proved himself, you know what I mean? And we've been like, yeah, like I said, like, we've been having I think we got some talented guys. I think we're gonna guide them in the right direction and like hopefully they're gonna do their thing, as long as they're dedicated.
Oh yeah.
Yes. We look forward to seeing it. So I hate cutting this short a little earlier than usual, but I have a flight to catch in a little bit. So like
Yes.
if we can wait, Andrew.
He's going to another Asian country.
Yeah, I'm going to
It's like we
I'm
wanna go
going from
places too, Lavell.
say again?
We wanna go places too.
Come to China. Come hang out in China. Y'all invited. Freaking I was actually gonna say too, like freaking maybe we can collaborate. Like I'm not sure if any of your people would want to come to Thailand next year, but I've been planning trips to Thailand every year. I'm going to Thailand in 2 days. So like maybe y'all can come to Thailand for like a week or some shit like that. That'd be pretty cool.
I gotta go to Thailand for at least a month.
Bro, if you can't go for a month, go for 10 days for now. Doing the most. Start with 10 days, then go for a month later.
Yo, tell my wife to let me go for 10 days.
You tell your wife.
Heard that.
Bring the wife. What do you mean? Bring the wife and the kids. Little 10-day vacation.
Not
in
trying to
Thailand.
go. She hates the heat like that. Like that type of heat, she's gonna hate it.
Hey, there's AC. She can just chill inside the house.
Nah, facts.
But
Well, yo,
I appreciate
it was a pleasure, guys. I really appreciate you guys having me on
Of course,
here
of
and
course.
everything like that.
Yeah,
Shout out
thanks
to
so
you
much.
guys. And yes, very good to meet you officially, Andrew.
You as well.
Big country.
Thank you.
Yes. And fucking my man Val, like
Yeah, just trying,
like
man.
I
Just
said,
trying.
he's still ducking me, but one day.
Maybe we'll make that fight the combat
You gotta
zone.
get the weight
Yeah.
up, bro.
I've like been asked like a couple of times, like last minute, like, you know what I mean? Like I told him I'd go up in weight. I said like I'm still gonna be about like 20, 30 pounds under, you know what I mean? But
Bro,
like,
you see my
and he
face
said
looking
he
this
didn't
fat
want to
right now,
take the
bro.
fight. He's like,
You
I
see,
gotta travel. I can't do it.
I'll take the fight anywhere, anytime. My face is chubby right now. I figure I can get your weight up, bro. You gotta get at least 30 pounds. Alright? I'm too fast, too slick, too heavy, too much
Come on,
power
man,
in
I'm
these
so
hands.
pretty. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't get hit. What do you mean? Too handsome. But thank you, Rob. We appreciate having you. Again, Rob Valley,
Thank you, guys.
head coach at Hard Knocks and Everett, professional kickboxer and MMA fighter. My brother. Thank you. Appreciate you,
Thank you,
brother.
Rob.
All love, all love.
Thank you. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace. Yeah, stop this.